Okay. So how many of you have heard of Dr. Martin Luther King? Have you studied history? Have you heard about him? How many have not heard about him? So everybody heard of him? Haven't heard of him?
Not his real speech that. Only read the script.
I have listened to speeches of many of the greatest leaders in the world. I've listened to John F. Kennedy, Winston Churchill, and many, many others. And to me, I consider his is still the best speech. The way it's delivered, the choice of words is incredible. And these are the words that drive the nation. That's why who says words are not important? Right? Words are the most important thing in your speech. If you attend any convention of multi-level marketing, like Amway, for example, listen to many of them, the speakers spoke lousy English. Many grammatical errors, pronunciation errors. But they're the multi-million-dollar producer. It's the results that count, isn't it? So in ToastMasters, it's good to know your grammar, to know your pronunciation. But the most important thing, what is it?
The message.
Is be able to send a message and to communicate heart through heart. It's able to arouse the emotion of the people so that they are on your side. So today we're going to learn that, and today you're going to give speeches that arouse the emotion, that are going to win people to your side. You want that? All right, let's go through this one. You have a copy of this. Now, in my write-up, I have identified the various things, but you see that throughout his speech, when you go home, maybe you can do the homework, identify the SMART formula in Martin Luther King's speech. I identified part of it in my, I cannot go through everything, I'm being simple, but it is good, fantastic training for you to go through his speech, identify where the similes, right, where the metaphors, where are the contrasts, alliterations, and all that. Let's go through this because afterwards I'm going to do this. We go one by one, right? Let's go through the speech. Go to my page 2. Let's explore the SMART formula. There are 5 points there. Number 1, he began his speech by alluding. This is some sort of simile, it's allusion. Why is it so important? To win credibility and to win the support of the whites and the blacks. Make the whites feel guilty and the black that they are being mistreated. Alright? So, how does he start? Did he say 50 years ago? What is 50 years ago? How much is score? Have you heard? They will study. Huh? 20 years. A score is 20. A dozen? A dozen is 12. A decade? 10. Alright? So, when you talk about score, it's 20. So instead of saying 100, it is 5 score. Abraham Lincoln started his speech by what? 4 scores and 4 years ago. Alright? So he sort of borrowed, so he gained credibility. So can you borrow words of the people, of leaders whom people trust, people love? Right? Abraham Lincoln is one of the best loved presidents in the US. Right? He freed slavery. Right? He set the slaves free, so the blacks loved him. And the white also considered the greatest, in fact the 2 greatest presidents in America, they considered 3 of them actually. Who's the first one? Abraham Lincoln. Kennedy is also one of them. President Kennedy, Eisenhower, and there's Truman. All these are the great presidents of America. So, can you use simile in the form of allusion, which is comparing with great people with their natural support? Number 2, metaphor. Where is the metaphor? He used the metaphor of dishonest check. Right? Everybody saw. Now, this is my Sifu, guru here, Mervin. We had a fantastic session last session. Thank you, a big hand. So a metaphor is very, very powerful because it brings abstract concept to reality. Can you give me a metaphor? Example?
Life is like a marathon. The life is a run.
Continuously.
To reach the finish.
Yeah, good. Say life is like marathon, right? Marathon, so you can compare, keep on running. Right? A long distance race, not a short sprint. It's life is like marathon. So this is, at least you can magistrate, you know it's a marathon life. Right? Life is very abstract. Like you say life is like marathon, you can visualize what's a marathon. Alright? So the next one, and he's a master of this. You look at the examples there. Contrast. Rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice, from the negative to the positive, negative to positive. Right? So direct people, present condition, your past future condition. Present and future, present and future. Present is bad, future is good. How we can bring that about? Right? That is the contrast. And that is repetition. If you actually count it, he said, let freedom ring 9 times, 9 successive sentences, and freedom a total of 20 times. See the message he punched across. And he talked about I have a dream 8 times. Okay? And I liked the last sentence. See the way he said it. What he said, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. So that is very powerful to see how he does it. Right? It is all available on YouTube. Please watch it. It's to me the greatest speech ever I came across. Right? Very, very powerful. And he has that unique voice which nobody can imitate. The ringing voice. Alright, so let's go for assignment. Before that, can we just review a little bit of last session with Mervyn? What is the single biggest discovery your group discovered? What's the single biggest discovery? Last session. Anyone? Anyone? Come on. What's the single? What's just one thing? Not many things. The single thing you discovered at the last session. What is it? Like my group, I discovered this in my group. Like, go for this. In my group, everyone there in my group was saying that it's so difficult to prepare a speech. It takes days and hours of work. But what did all of you do? Huh? In your last sessions. Do you take days to write a speech? How long do you take? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Right? So, you break a lot of myths, Right? It's not true. You program your mind that you take days. Never get completed. That's why pressure sometimes is good. Don't say stress is bad. Sometimes stress is good for you. Give you pressure, you have to finish in 15 minutes, and you did. True or not? Every one of you did. Every one of you was able to deliver a speech in 15 minutes. Isn't it preparation? So we do the same thing here. All right? And most important fact to discover this morning, this evening, what is the most important fact here? That the, let me see. About the Albert. Where is it? How come there's no movement? There's no mouse. Pet doesn't move. Let's find the function. Where's the function? Oh, yes. How come it's stuck there? Why are you not sure? I want to show this. How come it's there? Yeah. This is rubbish. Right? Total rubbish being repeated again and again and again. A lot of people, a lot of even traders keep on talking about this one, but it's not true. Right? Number one, this is the myth of Albert Mehrabian's rule. This original study, there were two studies done in 1967. In that study, he said that 55% depends on facial expression, and then 38% vocal, 7% based on words. Total rubbish. So today, I learn something new. Forget all this total rubbish. Keep on being repeated all the time. The study are based on women only.
And
right?
it's almost 50 years ago.
Yeah. And not only that, these studies are based on one word. Things like love, hate, do you trust me, and all those things. And of course, you're based on facial expression. I trust you. Do you think I trust you? No, isn't it? So it's based on that sort of, I love you. Is that love? Do you think I mean what I say? No, isn't it? That's why that is based on that kind of study. So let's clear that from the system, no more. Alright? The words are the most important. The nations change, the world changes because of words, not because of vocal variety. If I use it, yes.
What is the rule? What is the rule?
What is that?
What is this rule that?
This rule is that 55% of your speech depends on facial expression. You communicate through facial expression more powerful, and then 38% vocal variety, and only 7% of the communication depends on words, which is total rubbish. Even he himself said that it's taken out of context.
And what would be the truth?
The truth is that the words, based on latest studies, subsequent studies, because there are a lot of methodology, but generally, words are 4 times more powerful than all the other things combined, the other two combined. Right? So words are the most powerful. Look at last time radio, there's no TV, radio, World War II. What did Winston Churchill say? Very immortal words. I have nothing to offer you but blood, sweat, and tears. Powerful words. Right? It motivates the country to fight. Hitler. We'll fight from the beaches, we'll fight from the air, we'll fight from the sea. You see, simple words. Are they simple? They're complicated? No, simple words. So these are the things that motivated. John F. Kennedy, what he said? Ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. You know? Just remember them by simple words, not by the complicated words. They are known by the words, not by. Do you remember how Kennedy said it? Do you remember how Winston Churchill said it? No, but remember the words. So the words are the most powerful. Alright? So today, make use of the SMART formula. So in 4 S of speech preparation, and you deliver a clear message to 3 E's, I simplify everything for you. I relate simplicity. Make things, and Einstein said, make things as simple as possible, but not any simpler. And then we also say that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Understand that? They understand that? Make things as simple as possible, but not any simpler. Number 2, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So, short words, short sentences, short paragraphs, and sparingly use long words, long sentences, and long paragraphs. Don't try to make it fasting. And all the memorable words spoken by great leaders are very, very simple words. Abraham Lincoln, the Gettysburg Address, 200 words. Most of them are too simple. Very, very simple. The greatest speeches in the world are made of simple words, not complicated, long sentences. Right? So the SMART formula help you deliver a speech with the 3 P's: power, passion, picturesqueness. Here's picturesqueness. Understand that? I choose a big word because I want to match with the P. Otherwise, I can't get 3 P's already. Easy to remember. Picturesque means paint a picture in your mind. Right? Can you describe something? Look at the clouds. It's like an unsteady hand sketching on the sky. So, use words like that. Okay? That picture is this. Describe the picture. All right, I've gone through that already. Okay. So let's start preparing speeches now. Any questions before we start? We are going to break into groups. How many of you all together? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. I think you have 4 in each group, 4, 5. 5 in each group. 6 is too many. 5. You have how many together? All together 7. 4 people in the group. Okay, just say 1, 2, 3, 4 as you go on, and then you know which group you are in. 1, 2. Remember the number?
4. 2, 3, 4.
Number 1, 2, 3. Then my Sue. 4. 1, 2, 3. 1. Remember number? 3, 4. Okay, this time. Okay. Go ahead. Push the chain off to the side. Forward. Okay. Enjoy the group. 1, 2 there, 3 and 4 here. Okay? Put all the chairs, I think you have got 6 groups. Yeah, because 6 is too much. I think this is
one. Every speaker has then
Actually, I'm visiting member.
what is your thing about?
Yes.
64, I guess 7 minutes.
CC3 one is yeah. Follow the persuasion to inspire.
Or very bad experience.
Objective.
Most often, then you can say like, what do you think of life? One of the very easiest one is life brief candle. You can use that with it. Yeah. Yeah, you can draft it down first. You don't need to write everything word by word. All you need is to get the main idea out first. Yep. Yeah. Like, what is the incident? Who are the characters? When it happened? How is your feeling? Yes. Yes. By answering this question, I think you can get 3 or 5 minutes already.
If you don't know what
Your friend over there, he's going to share an experience where one of his best friends got a knee replacement and only have 3 months time. You're going to share. Yeah. So you can share something personal to you, a story, or something that happened to you recently.
Yeah, it's got to be real. So you're interested in something that happened. It's got to be real.
Yeah. You can talk about some happy incidents, sad incidents.
No, don't talk about it.
No, not the sad.
Nobody wants to be real happy.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Yeah, that's true.
You go and watch a movie, it's happy. Yeah, you will. Our organization is in the opening. You state the message. Which is what we just discussed. there I learned how to ride a bicycle. Lesson number 1, trust my dad. Lesson number 2, learn how to balance. Lesson number 3, learn how to fall. Those are the 3 lessons I learned. Today I learned how to ride a bicycle.
So what do you make from this?
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah. Is this the repeated one or?
Okay, 5 minutes more, huh? 5 minutes more. So you okay? And then how do you speak?
Very nice.
As long as I understand it, explain to you, you understand.
Get ready to start your speech. 2 minutes.
I think they need a time extension. 5 more minutes to go.